If you've been following me for the past couple of years, then you probably know that I was what you'd call a distro hopper from time to time. And yeah, I'm not really trying to hide it, this was the whole point of the channel basically when it first started. I remember that I started out with Manjaro, then I hopped over to Debian, then Zorin, then Manjaro again, then Pop! OS, then Elementary, Ubuntu, Solus for a while, OpenSUSE, Fedora, Silverblue, every single mainstream distro. As I said, it's not something that I'm really hiding, it's a part of who I am, and it's a part of basically every single Linux user's origin story. It's how you figure out what you actually want to use every single day. And I'm pretty sure that I'm over my distro hopping era because I've been using Silverblue for the past 4 years now, and Fedora for more than that. No, wait, Silverblue for 2 and Fedora for a bit over 4 or close to 5. I can't remember, but it's been a long time and I'm not planning on hopping away from it or anything. But one thing that you might not be really aware of is that I was also a browser hopper. What I mean by that, basically every single time that I was hopping distros, I was actually also switching out my browsers. So it started with Chromium, then regular Chrome for some reason, and then I went over to Firefox, then Vivaldi, Brave Nightly, back to Vivaldi, and then back to Firefox. And yeah, not a lot of people know about this, obviously. There were some signs, like I remember that I did a video on the Brave browser when I first started using it. Obviously I knew about it way before and I was using it back on my Windows days. But when I actually wanted to give it a proper test drive, I also streamed about this on this channel right here. And after a year, maybe a bit more than that, I was using Brave Nightly as my main browser, which was honestly extremely stable and really fast. I decided to make the hop back to Firefox just because it's more open source, and I know that Mozilla is not really the best company, like they have some telemetry and stuff. I was actually pretty comfortable with Firefox, it was pretty fast, it had basically zero bugs, and yeah, really liked it. And after all these times that I've hopped browsers, you basically think that, hey, you found your home, and that's Firefox. And that's semi-truth. Let me explain. I was extremely comfortable using Firefox as my main browser. I had all my add-ons that I really liked, and basically all my web pages were working fine except for one website, and that was YouTube. What do I mean by that? I was able to access the website, I was able to preview videos and stuff, but some videos I just couldn't watch. I'm not sure if it has to do with the encoding of the video that was uploaded, but just would straight up give me an error that it was unavailable, and that's why I also installed the ungoogled Chromium browser. Super cool project, but it was basically my way of viewing some of the videos that I couldn't access through Firefox, and that was really annoying, but it wasn't really a reason for me to switch browsers or something, because I basically always had ungoogled Chromium open, so I could just copy paste the link and I was off to go. Other than that, I didn't really have a lot of problems other than the UI being a little bit weird, not in a bad way. I preferred it to the Chromium layout, but it was just a bit too large, probably intended to a touchscreen device or something, but after a few months of using it, I was basically completely over it. I was like, yeah, fine, it looks okay. Didn't look bad, by the way, with the default theme, so I'm like, okay, I should keep using it. But a few days ago, something really interesting happened to come across my path, and that is a brand new web browser that is based on Firefox, is completely open source, privacy focused, and has a sick layout. So let me show it to you. So here we are, this is my desktop, it's Fedora Silverblue, nothing too exciting, and I always have my browsers mapped to super plus B for browser, on any operating system. And up till a few days ago, that command would bring up Firefox. Well, now it brings up the Zen Browser. Now, this looks really familiar to anyone who used Firefox. This is basically the Firefox home screen. The only different thing is the Zen logo here instead of the Firefox one, and it has a little weather applet over here, which I really like. Now, it's missing the recent or the most used websites that Firefox puts here by default. This is an option you can enable it. It's called shortcuts, but every single time I enable it, it then just automatically switches back after a few times that I open the homepage. I'm not sure why that's happening, but after a few days of using it, I honestly don't really miss that because I don't need it anymore. Now, before I go into that and why I don't miss it, you're probably already asking the question, hey, where's the browser? This is just a homepage. What's this, like a super minimal browser or something? Well, it kinda is. But no, there is a whole browser. If I take my mouse and place it over here, this is the whole browser, essentially. I have all my add-ons, extensions, all my navigation, my menus, all my tabs, something that's called workspaces, which I love, and these things over here, which are called essential tabs, and I have mine pinned to YouTube and Disney+. Now, this right here is not the default view, basically. The default view is this. It's always pinned over here, and you have your websites on the right. And this layout, don't get me wrong, it's pretty great for people who primarily use documents because you need more vertical real estate, and most browsers have this thing over at the top, so it's a win for those. But for people like me, the prime use case that the browser sees is just content consumption, so YouTube and Disney+. This is not really optimal because your videos are horizontal and you need more horizontal real estate. So I'm not sure if they've actually thought of that or if this just happened accidentally, but they have a little mode, if I right click here, that's called compact mode. And if you enable the compact mode, which is Control Alt and C as a shortcut, it goes away. And the only time that you see it is if you change tabs, as you can see here, or if you get your mouse over there, basically. That's it. Now, you've probably already seen it, accidentally I've triggered it. If I get my mouse all the way to the top, you can also see my bookmarks, which is a nifty little feature. I honestly don't really use my bookmarks at all, so it's nice to just hide them, and whenever I need them I can access them. I can access them from any website, by the way. It's not only on the home screen. And now, one thing that is actually built different than Firefox, which this browser is based on, is how the new tab system works. Basically, on any browser, not just Firefox, if you select a new tab, it's normally up here somewhere, or here you select new tab, or you trigger the keyboard shortcut, which is Ctrl+T, a brand new tab opens, so it will be something like this, and then you click here and you start typing stuff. Well, this is not really how Zen works. And it threw me off completely at first, because if I press Ctrl+T, you just get this little pop-up in the middle. And at first, I thought that when you press Ctrl+T or select a new tab from here, it would just automatically erase the current one you're on and will navigate to a new place. But that's not the case, because if I go to the Zen Browser homepage, for example, the moment I press Enter, keep your eyes peeled on the left side of the screen, it creates a brand new tab automatically, and this happens every single time. If we go to linuxmint.com, that's the same, and it even works if you don't go to a website straight away. If you just search, I'll search for Rufus. As you can see here, it brings start page, which is my search engine of choice, and everything is here. Maybe I should get out of this mode just so you can see it better. If I go to getfedora.org, hit enter, it's over there. Amazing. I actually really enjoy this system, and if you want to go home to the actual homepage, you can just select Alt+Home and it brings you to your home. And also the way you clear out tabs is also a bit weird, because hitting Ctrl+W does close the current tab you're on. But now, what happens if you are on one of these two tabs? So the essential tabs, which by the way are not limited to 2, you can have as many as you want. You wouldn't want to close them out, right? Because you're there all the time, that's why you have them pinned. So what happens when you press Ctrl+W? Does it delete them? Maybe it puts them to sleep, it hibernates them, or what do you think it happens? Maybe it's a bug? Well, no, if you press Ctrl+W, it creates a brand new tab and brings you to the homepage, which I think is a fantastic choice for a system like this. But anyway, that's not every single thing that the Zen Browser does in regards to tab management. Let's say that we have the Linux Mint website once again, and the Fedora website. And you maybe want to see the differences between the two. So you have them here. Normally you just scroll a bit, change over, scroll a bit, change over, and do it like that. But no, you don't have to do that with the Zen Browser. You just select both, right click, and split. And now these two websites are actually split. And you don't have to split them just this way. You can go here to a menu and change them to horizontal, as you can see, which is not something that I would do, but it's there. You have a grid layout because you can also add a new website like DistroWatch, for example, and just split everything together. And here it is, and you can obviously just manually change them around, which I think that it's fantastic. And if you ever want to just stop splitting, you can just go here, unsplit, and there's that. But now, again, that's not everything that the Zen Browser does. You also have workspaces, as you can see here, and you can create as many of them as you want, and basically, you can just keep your tabs split. These are my pinned websites I have here. It's basically my e-banking and stuff. It's basically the only other workspace that I've created so far, because I don't really have a use case for it. Maybe for work or for my uni it can be helpful if I just, let's say, pin my e-class platform. Other than that, I don't really have a use case for it, but still pretty cool feature to just have there. But that's not all. We still have something super major that I haven't talked about. So if we go to the website, it has what you call, where is it? Oh, here, getting started, Zen mods. And what's this? It's basically like the Firefox add-ons, but specific to this browser, that changes the theme and how it works basically. And there are a lot of them, like let's say Bottom Essential, for example, which I've already installed. I'm just not using right now, but if I was to use them, go here, where is it? Bottom Essentials. If I enable this, they go from the top to the bottom, which is cool. And by the way, if while I was on the banking workspace you were like, why are the websites grayed out? It's because I haven't accessed them in a while and they automatically unload. Basically, you have to be on a different tab. Yeah, and if you go back, it refreshes everything. So that's why. And the last thing that I actually want to talk about is something called Glance, I believe. Basically, if you hold down Alt or Command on a Mac and select any button, it brings up a preview of the website that is actually fully functional. You can go anywhere inside that, as you can see, nothing's happening. If you press escape, you go back to the website you started from, and if while browsing you want to actually keep this forever as a tab, you can press this button, which makes it an actual tab, as you can see. Pretty cool stuff. And that is basically everything that I actually wanted to talk about. For anyone using Firefox, by the way, the switch over is extremely simple because you just download this and sign in using your Mozilla account. As you can see here, it's syncing perfectly fine, so everything just transferred over immediately. Super cool, super fast. Now, when it comes to security, it's not really the best by default. Like, it automatically disables every single bit of telemetry, so you don't have to worry about it, but stuff like using a DNS by default and having stricter protection is disabled by default. As you can see here, it's meh, although I've changed quite a bit of settings. So if we go to privacy and security, as you can see, I've changed it over from standard to strict protection. I believe that it has HTTPS only active by default, so this is cool. And then DNS over HTTPS, I have increased protection, but yeah, this is the Zen browser, and I think that I'm in love with it, honestly, because I love Firefox. I had some issues with it, like the YouTube issue I mentioned, and this issue is completely resolved on the Zen browser. Maybe because it has better codec support, probably that's the reason, but I've never had any issues with it so far. And now, if you're thinking about switching to it but don't really like the whole vertical tabs thing, maybe it's too much clutter for you, although I really like it, it's fresh for me. There are also other mods you can use, although they're not really mods because the mods are like the add-ons they have. No, it's a mode it's a theme. If you go here, we have multiple toolbars and a collapsed toolbar. That basically the collapsed toolbar works exactly like any other browser. The only difference is that your tabs are still on the side, but are way too minimal, basically, to even notice them. Now, when it comes to customization, it's not the best, as you can see, when it comes to theme, although there are a lot of themes that you can grab straight from the Zen mods website. As you can see, we have one here. Wait, where's the other one? I can't remember. But yeah, as you can see here, we have a lot. And yeah, I would really suggest that you give it a try. I believe that it's 1-2 people that are maintaining it and are developing it, and they are doing an amazing job. And it's really cool knowing that there is a really good browser that's based on Firefox, because most browsers nowadays are based on Chromium, which is something that I hate. Not because Chromium is bad, it is bad if you like compare it to security and stuff, but as a general purpose engine, it's not bad, but it's not good to have only one engine out there and have every single browser use that engine. It's nice to have one that's based on Firefox, and basically I only want to use Firefox based browsers from now on. That's why I've never jumped back into Vivaldi or Brave or anything like that. It's because I just want to use the Firefox engine, which is really fast on my computer. I'm not sure why everyone says that it's slow. Chromium is way slower on my system. And now, yes, there are some other browsers out there that are doing a better job at it than Zen. Let's say LibreWolf, for example. I love that browser, but it's a bit too strict for me to use it on the daily basis. But yeah, if security is all you want, then of course use LibreWolf or use the Tor browser, which is also based on Firefox. And by the way, I use the Tor browser not every single day, but sometimes when I want added security, I use it. But still, for the average user, Firefox is probably the best major browser when it comes to security, since it's open source and stuff. But to people who really like Firefox, want something a bit better when it comes to security and functionality, because everything that Zen adds is added on top of all the Firefox capabilities and stuff and features, so you're not missing anything. Yeah, Zen Browser is for them, and I just really hope that it stays around and that it becomes something huge, because I love it. But anyway, that's about it. If I haven't convinced you yet, you can go over and try it out for yourself. It's zen-browser.app, and I've not talked to any of the devs of Zen Browser. This is not a sponsored video or whatever. This is just me actually loving a free and open source software project. So yeah, I hope that I helped. Maybe you found out about a new project that you might like, or you found out about a project which seems cool, but it's not really your thing. Either way, it's fine. But anyway, have a good one. Peace out.